Hey, it's Dwayne here at the Clemente Museum. We're back with another video. We're coming at you every other week, so make sure you subscribe. Today we want to talk to you about what kind of got the museum started. People have had questions. What was the first piece of memorabilia? Where did you start? It's technically a couple things, and we're going to talk about 3 or 4 things today. One is this. This is the first piece right here. It's an image in 1966 of Roberto Clemente and Matty Alou. And at that time, when I'm a kid, they're my 2 favorite players. So when the Pirates approached me, Dave Arrigo, the team photographer, came over to my studio and he asked me if I would make a print for the Pirates from the original negative. And I was so excited because it was my 2 guys. We printed it on fiber-based paper, the original negative, 1966. They're duking it out for the batting title. Roberto becomes the MVP. Matty Alou wins the batting title. So the Pirates, pretty solid in 66. They actually printed some tickets to the World Series. They thought they were going to go to the World Series. However, they didn't. Another piece is 69 Clemente card. So I go to a baseball card show for my very first time. Cards are just getting kind of interesting. Upper Deck came out in 89, 90, and they start coming out with these beautiful cards. And I was kind of interested in taking a look at them. I go to this card show with my buddy Rob, and I see the Clemente. I see this 69 Clemente, and I'm like, I got to get that card. There was just something about that card with the helmet on and the pose he was in. It was just kind of fierce. And I just thought, oh, I got to have that. And I looked and it was like 45 bucks. And I bought it. So technically it was the first thing I purchased. Vera asked me to do the Nixon photos here at the museum, but it's actually the Presidential Citizens Medals. And those were given to Roberto. That was the first time they started that award. And he's also got the Medal of Freedom, if you look that up. He's one of 3 to have both. And so that was May of 1973 in the Oval Office of the White House. So it was pretty special. And Richard Nixon is the first person to give money to build Sports City in Puerto Rico. He gave a personal check for $1,000. Her images got ruined by Hugo when it hits the island of Puerto Rico on 9/9 of '89 and flooded her basement where all her photos were, and these images got ruined. And Vera asked me to fix the White House photos of her with Richard Nixon, Willie Stargell, and Manny Sanguillen, and it was because her brother was with her in the White House and he had just passed away, Orlando, and they were very close. And so there's these incredible photos, but they're wet and moldy, and they got pretty messed up, and I couldn't really fix them. And so my brother Mike started calling people in Washington, D.C. to try to find out where the archivist was for the White House. And it took about a week, and we get the guy on the phone, and he says, hey, which photos from that day do you want? And I'm like, wait a minute, there's more than the 4 you sent to her in Puerto Rico? And he was like, well, yeah, I shot a whole roll. There's 36. I was like, how much to see that 36? And he goes, 20 bucks. We FedExed him a $20 bill in cash with a returned FedEx slip to ship him back here. In less than 2 days, we had the proof sheet. I see the ones that she wanted, but I found some other ones that were even better that she didn't know about. And then we flew down to Puerto Rico and presented those to her. And Vera said, Dwayne, it's like a miracle. And I was like, well, it was a little miracle. It took 7 days and a $20 bill. During the calendar, I get to meet Les Banos, the team photographer. And he started letting me handle some of his negatives. And so he was bringing them by for me to print, kind of like what the Pirates were doing. We were the only studio in town that was printing fiber-based prints. And so we were making prints of Les Banos' negatives. And he had a copy shot of Roberto Clemente jumping up in the air in Forbes Field in 1955. It's the first photo of him in a Pirate uniform. It's this beautiful image, and on the image was written, "To Mother with Love, Roberto." It's a copy negative. It's not the original. It took years to find where the original lived. It was in Puerto Rico, and spent years and years and years hoping to get it. And we eventually got it. It now hangs. It's the first thing you see on our kind of our timeline of Roberto's whole life here at the museum. It's the first thing on the wall. It's a beautiful image. It's worth coming out just to check out that image. So that's, that's a couple of the pieces right there. And it pretty much started with photography. That was the base of this whole thing. Make sure you subscribe, like our video, and if you have comments, just hit it down below. See you down the road.